So we're going to install those today. Getting ready to put the tachometer on there. One thing I wanted to point out, that's finger tight. So, and I've, my dirt bike days, I've had these come off. And that'll leave you dead in the water. So you want to grab it with pliers and just give it a little, you don't want to go hogging on it and bust the porcelain off, but you want to get it snug. I just want to tighten this down. This was just sitting here. They might have forgot to tighten it. I guess just to keep the boot from moving around. So I'll cinch that down, snip that, and we'll run the tachometer and the hour meter. I still can't form thoughts. I got like 6 hours of sleep last night. I've been scrambling around. I'm trying to get ready for an air show, going to the Cleveland Air Show. So we got about a 9.5-hour drive tomorrow in the Volvo, the 93 Volvo 940. I'm going to take that instead of taking the Silverado, which will cost me $200 to get out there at 10 miles per gallon, because it's probably got leaky injectors and who knows what else is wrong with it. But that's a story for another day. Back on track here. Guess I'll set you guys up and we'll go about, you know what I want to do? I want to do something different. I watched a video, and Mike at Blackhawk there, he was showing how to install these gauges here, and they like to run them down this cable here, which is great. You know, that's pretty handy because you're gonna always have the thing in your hand and you just turn it in your hand and look at the gauge, you know. But I'm thinking, since I'm never gonna foot launch this thing, you know, I got asthma, I ain't running. It's not gonna happen. So foot launching is, you know, I don't think, unless something drastically changes in my life, I don't see myself doing that. And I got a truck, so I'm never gonna disassemble this thing that I know of, you know. At the most, maybe the cage. Although putting that thing together, I don't think I ever want to take that cage apart again. That was kind of a pain in the ass. Anyways, so where am I going with this? Yeah, so my thought was, see, I don't have the front end on, so we're at a weird angle. Boy, the center of gravity really changes when you lift this thing up. It gets really heavy there, and it starts to get lighter the more, once you get past this point. Yeah, and that's about level there. But I'm getting off track here. And I'm gonna get off track again. I found this in the pouch here. That was a welcome surprise. That's pretty cool. Because I was like, man, I need to get a mirror. I was gonna bring my little shop mirror that's about 1/10 this size. And I looked inside the bag and I'm like, what the heck is this? I pulled on the string and out comes a mirror. So that's awesome. Thanks, guys. It's freaking great. So they threw in a lot of extras with this thing. I don't know why people bash them. I guess, you know, they're the big guys on the block, so of course, you know, they're gonna get hit more than they're a big target, is what I'm trying to say. So that's understandable. You're gonna get that. I mean, this is kind of a niche market. If you're building junk, you're not gonna stay in business long. They'd have been out of business a long time ago if all their stuff was as bad as people on the internet make it sound like. That's just my opinion. I haven't flown the thing yet. I'm just going by what I see and the build quality. I work on a lot of equipment. I work on a lot of weed whackers, snowmobiles, motorcycles, lawn tractors, cars, trucks, boats. I've seen a lot of stuff, and you can tell quality when you see it. And this thing, be honest with you, this is really nice. It's well thought out, the engineering, you know, Mike seems to know his stuff. You know, he's a heck of an engineer. I'm impressed with it, you know, just sitting here looking at it and the build quality. And it's very well done. Very well done. So anyways, back on track here. So I'm thinking of putting the gauges here or maybe on the side here. I'm going to have to, I haven't even sat in this thing yet. You know what? I probably should put the front wheel on. I think we'll do that first. We'll get this front wheel on, and I'm going to sit in the thing and get oriented and see where everything's going to be. And I'm going to see if that's going to be a viable location having it here. It might be angled where it's not gonna work. I'm sure Mike's tried everything, and this is probably the best place to put it. And he had the temperature gauge down here, which is pretty cool because you can just glance over and look at that. And then the tach and hour meter are right here. I mean, you could reverse the two if you wanted, I guess. You could put them both down there. I don't see why you couldn't do that. Sky's the limit. So yeah, we'll figure that out. So when I first put this thing together, I had this thing upside down. So you can see the angle. It's kind of angled up, which is the way it's supposed to be. I had it flipped around. I didn't realize until I put the front end on that things looked funny. Wheel was sitting like this. I'm like, you're right. These right here, I was, you know, being that I'm a guy that does maintenance, my job is to keep things running all the time for people. I wanted to slap some grease on here and get this all greased up nice. But I'm thinking, this is plastic. I'm pretty sure this is plastic, unless it's aluminum. I can't really tell. I'd have to get in there with a pick and scratch it somewhere. And it pains me to do that. But if it's aluminum, I'd want to grease it. But plastic, I don't want to grease it, because I think what'll happen, being that this is a fair weather machine, I'm not going to be flying in the snow or in the rain if I want to live. You know, these wings, you don't want to fly a wing with snow on it. I'm sure that's probably not a good idea. Nor is it a good idea to fly in the rain. If I leave it dry, that way dust can't stick to it. You know what I could do? I got some gun lube, some dry lube. Could put some of that on there. I'm sure that won't hurt. Yeah, so I figured I'd spray some of that on there. It's mostly a cleaner, but it's got a dry lube in it, so. We get a little of everything over here. We get a lot of rain in the spring, and summertime ends up dry, you know. Well, that's done. I'm just gonna sit in here and see where I want to put these. First time sitting in my new Paramotor. Oh, they did say it was upright, and it is. Until you get flying, it'll kick back. Just made it. Oh yeah, it's nice and easy to turn. From where I'm sitting right here, looking straight down, having them right here would be nice. As long as my eyesight is good enough to handle that. I'm just worried about sun, you know, getting a glare on them. I like to be able, especially a temperature gauge, I want to be able to see that temp gauge. See what this looks like down here. Oh yeah, it's not bad. It's got pretty big, actually this little thing will kind of block the sun. I can see that even with my bad eyesight. Oh, it's got 3M sticky tape. Perfect. As long as the wires reach, that's going to be the deciding factor. I saw a couple extensions here. Yeah, they included a couple extensions. That I really appreciate. That's awesome. There's another hole right here. I could actually mount something there in the future. Temp sensor installation. Oh wow, they have a coolant one too. But we don't have any coolant. Temperature, max temperature, and clock. I have a lot of clocks. 3M sticky tape and a couple push plugs. Max 114. That wasn't here. That might have been in transit. I bet you that was in the UPS truck. Probably out west somewhere. 721. That is not correct. Figure out how to set this clock here. It's 114. Usually you hold the button down. Oop. 12. 24. Oh, we want 12. Ah, dang it. Whoa, what is happening? How do I get out of this? I guess I should read the directions, huh? Wouldn't that be That would be wise. Press button to toggle through make sure. Hold button to edit current time of day. That didn't work. I gotta hold it longer, I guess. Is that? Okay. Now it's wigging out. I don't know how to get past the screen. I don't want that. I hate electronics, I really do. I reset everything. It's all good. Max 77, okay. Back to the clock. Hold the button down. Got 12. And then I guess it switches to the clock, which it did. There we go. Guess I had to be patient. Okay, got the clock set. I'll unplug this little fella. Just give that a squeeze and a tug. Pick an extension, any extension. And we've got a zip tie that we need to nip. If I can find my nippers. Don't cut the wires. Straighten the little kinks out. Alright, I'm thinking this little guy is not going to make it all the way out here. That's my theory on that. Let's see what it does. Can I go here? Ow. That kind of hurt. That was my kneecap. Don't mind me. Bring down the main rail here. Oh, and then that gauge has a little bit of length. This might work. Worry about tying down the cable later. Find the top half of regular set of pliers. Usually works pretty good for doing that. Because it's like it was made for it. Don't go nutty. As you can't unscrew it with your fingers as hard as you try. That's tight enough. 13/16. I should take that out. A venerable BR9ES. Another motorcycle battery. Battery. Spark plug. Maybe I shouldn't be working on this thing today. Pretty sure this engine has never been run. Looks a little darker. They might have fired it up at the shop. So not that it matters really to me. There's no way to turn over an electric start motor without touching the flywheel. Okay. Just goes on the plug like that. Yeah, there we go. I was going to machine it down a little, grind it down with the Dremel, but I think we'll be all right. It does kind of catch the threads a little bit. Gap looks okay. So where do I want this to face? I guess I'd like to have it going this way. We'll hold it this way, shortest distance. Oh, it stayed put, okay. Oh man, we're gonna start this again. Losing tools already. It's too early for this. 20 minutes later, I find my socket, wrench, ratchet, whatever you call it. Still can't talk. I don't want to go nutty with this. That's plenty. Okay, so we get that all situated. See what that looks like. I gotta stick my head in your way. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna run this down. I should put, yeah, we'll put a zip tie up there. I think I'm gonna run this down inside here just to be safe. We'll go in front of the rope for the cage netting there. Pull this guy down gently, although I don't like the way that's hanging like that. I might want to move that, I think. Yeah, I think we're going to move to the lower. Might as well make it right, you know. I just changed my mind here about this washer. I was going to leave it on there. The OCD in me thinks it's going to affect the reach of the plug significantly, which it isn't. But that's just what I think. I'll take that factory crush washer off of there. It's still got room to spin. That's like a perfect size for a washer, so that's what we're gonna do. We'll see if it leaks. If it leaks, I'll throw it back on. Not a big deal. Not mission critical. A little leak there ain't gonna affect anything. It just won't look pretty, that's all. I gotta be careful tightening it down because now it doesn't have that crush factor. It might feel a little different as it gets tight, which it does. It gets tight very quickly. I don't want to go too nutty. That's about as tight as I want to go there. Okay, we got that tight. We got this routed. Before I go too crazy here, I want to tighten this down. Yeah, give it a little, I don't want a little too crazy there, but it's all right. Well, that won't hurt anything either. Man, I can't find anything today. Is this a sign I should just give up and take this up next week, I think that's what everything's telling me. It's way past lunchtime. I'm getting pretty hungry too. That factors into all this. Let's put that on the floor. Let's put that on the floor. Put the plug back on. You know what? I'm gonna put. I was gonna put a little silicone grease in there, but you know what? I think the tighter this thing grips, the less chance of it popping off in flight. Got to rethink all my habits from the automotive and off-road world. This is aviation. It's a little different. A little bit. Can't just pull over in the air, you know. Put the plug boot back on. It's a little more inconvenient than that. That's on there good. That ain't going anywhere. Although I didn't feel it snap. I feel like I gotta keep pushing for some reason. Oh, I guess that's on there. Seemed like it was higher up. Yeah. Pressing on that pretty hard. So. Yeah. That's good. Alrighty. So we got this situated. Now I put a zip tie here. This is the most zip ties I've ever used on any job ever. Even when I put airbags in my Silverado. Well, I already had the airbags in there. What I put in was a remote fill control system so I can fill it for my air compressor, onboard air compressor. So there we go. That should be good there. I don't like having this rub there. It's going to be rubbing on that cylinder. I'll have to, maybe I'll put a couple wraps of electrical tape over that. You guys can't see now. So I just zip tied it there. I'm going to nip that off before I forget. Bing, hit me right in the eye. And yeah, we'll run that down. Down, around town. And I'll go right across that C channel there. Okay, see what we got here. We're underneath. Not yet. We'll see where this goes. Okay, so I'm going up and over. Coming up under. Looks like that's about as far as it's gonna reach. I got a few more zip ties to put on. Okay, makes it to the hole. So we got that. Oh yeah, we got plenty. Perfect. That's freaking mint. Nice. Happy with how that came out. So I'll see. Only problem with doing it this way. I was gonna put the sticky pad behind it. Maybe I'll do both. Do a sticky pad and run a big long zip tie around. How can that work? How can I do that? Yeah, I might have to go with the sticky. I don't want to put it sideways. I know what I could do. Could put it here. Just afraid of hitting it with my legs. Definitely be more secure if I put it up here. I think that's going to interfere. I got to sit. See, hidden by my legs. Yeah, that's not going to work like this because it's angled the wrong way. I think I'll put it right about there. Okay, a little acetone and a paper towel for the 3M sticky tape there. I want to take the paint off. Just want to get it clean. And do the back of the gauge as well. And I just found the cut in my thumb. That is fantastic. Ow, ow, ow. Okay. Kind of melted the plastic there on that thing. Not very robust. There you go. Alright, there goes nothing. Yeah, don't stick it upside down, dummy. Put that right there. That's actually pretty solid there, even though it's only grabbing in the middle. See? It's not flopping around, so that's a good thing. I can just, I don't think my shorties will fit around this. No, I'm going to have to get some longer zip ties. I'm starting to run low on these things. Use quite a bit of them. Oh, you know what? Might want to wait till I get the other one mounted and do it all in one shot, so that way I'm not using 100 zip ties on this thing. So I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to have a seat and see how good it looks from where I'm at. Oh yeah, that's perfect. My OCD is kicking in. It's a little, it ain't 100% straight. It's off like a millionth of an inch, but I can live with that. What was that high temperature? 77. All right, back from lunch. Missing a zip tie, but that's all right. I only need 2. So I guess the deal is just making sure I had enough wire, which I do. Just wasn't a whole lot of info there. I don't know if I can cut this or not, if that'll affect anything, so I'm not gonna. You only need 3 wraps of this stuff. There's 3 there. Bring this guy around a little bit. I will zip tie that. I guess the more wraps you go, it'll start inducting current from the spark plug. You don't want that. Hurt your performance. Right. So that's about what I got there. A couple inches from the plug. So what I'm going to do is, I guess I'll take the excess. This is the tack. Just want to show you these little guys. Since I'm not using the holes, these press right in there, make it look nice. Gives it a nice clean look. Oh, my camera's sideways. I apologize for that. Alrighty, that is that. You can see how I just wrapped up the excess from the tachometer. Right there. Just put a couple zip ties down on the main frame here. Actually, I probably need to tie these up too. Yeah, I'll put another red one on there. Zip tie that down so that's nice and tight. I'll show you what I got going on back here. So I ran them both up here. Got a zip tie there. Zip tie on the netting strap. It runs up. We got one there for the tack, the temperature, and this one here for the tachometer. I probably should have tightened that a little more, it looks like. Let it, actually that's probably good. Let that move around. In case I need to pull a spark plug off, I won't yank the thing out of there. All right, so that's that. That's about all I can do. I'm ready to put gas in this thing and break it in, but I got an air show to go to in Cleveland, so now it's time to scramble around and try to remember what I got to pack for that. I got about 30 minutes to do that. So, aviation makes you travel. Anyways, we'll probably see you next week and finish this thing up.